Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to the KP show. And the beaming smiles on our faces should just tell you how we feel about India's victory in this World Cup 2026 World T20 champions. Back to back, we have defended our title as well. And first team to win three ICC Men's T20I World Cup, and the first team to win the T20 World Cup at home. We did it for the 50 over World Cup, we did it in T20 cricket as well. So let's get started. We have plenty of things to discuss about today, and I'm sure you must have been on social media over the course of the last 2 3 days to see how much this win has been celebrated by Indians. Of course, there is another discourse that some are feeling that this is not equal to 2024 the way they felt at that point of time. We understand, but yeah, nevertheless, let's get started with the video. I think Pratik, let's start with the final first. I mean, Santner winning the toss and putting India into bat. I'll tell you, I was in the stadium, and when the result of the toss came in, there was a collective gasp in the air because obviously you see New Zealand win the toss and opted to bowl first. That kinds of puts us off because it took us back to the memory of 2023. Back then also I was in the stadium, so kind of gave some negative vibes about the stadium and about how things were panning out. But yeah, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, even I when I think Kane Williamson was on air, it's in the com box with the presenters, and there was a talk that what he should do after winning the toss, and Williamson also said that the New Zealand should be looking to bowl first. But my intuition was, why would you like to bowl against a team which loves batting first, especially in their home conditions, and has put up three 250 plus scores so far in the last all the times that they have batted first against Zimbabwe. India scored 254 or 255. Then against England also we put on like 255 or 253, I think, against England, 254, 255. So these were the scores of India in the past few games. And the only time that India looked under pressure during the tournament was actually when they chased, maybe against South Africa in the Super 8, or maybe the game against West Indies at the Eden Gardens. India looked to be in a bit of mud during the start of the chase, or at, you can say, the first 10 overs of the chase. So my this was my intuition, but Santner won the toss and chose to bowl first, which was very surprising. And given it was a mixed soil wicket, which means 75% of red soil and only 25% black soil, which means the pitches ain't gonna change much, even with the uh, even if the dew comes in during the later phases of the game. So the batting was going to be easy, or it was going to behave like a belter for batting for throughout the game, which was given. So I really didn't understand his choice of fielding first in the final.
Yeah, and I think before we move ahead with our topic for today, let's give our viewers an idea of what's to come. So, firstly, we're going to be discussing about the final. Then we'll discuss about our team of the tournament, and then we'll also recap some of the top moments throughout this World Cup that led to the final. So, so hang in there, and again, let's jump right back into our topic.
Also, also when we talk about the final, we'll also talk about the key performance of the final and some stories related to the players, especially the Indian players. What was leading up to the final, into the world coming into the World Cup for them. We'll also discuss some of the stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So hang in there and let's get right back to our topic. We talked about the toss, and you mentioned one key aspect that we knew the wicket was going to be a belter. Even we knew, even Santon knew, because in the press conference he said the wicket is going to be flat. We know that there's going to be plenty of runs to be scored here. So I was quite flabbergasted, to be honest, when he decided to bowl first. And given not just India's performance in the tournament, you also look at the India New Zealand series that happened recently, where we beat them 4-1. The only one game where New Zealand won was when they batted first, they put on 220 and asked India to chase. Right, that's when we got stuck. So that also probably could have given them an indication. Now let's talk about the playing 11 as well. India stuck to the same playing 11. Again, right choice. This is something that I advocated right after the semi-final as well. Uh, I want to talk about New Zealand's playing 11. Only one change. Cole McConkey was not picked, who was their off spinner. To give our viewers context, if you don't know, in the semi-final between South Africa and New Zealand, Cole McConkey was the one who bowled one over in the power play, conceded 9 runs, but picked up two crucial wickets, both of left-handers, Quinton de Kock and Ryan Rickelton. That actually kind of put New Zealand ahead in the game against South Africa. Eventually, they went on to win that semi-final. And considering India had so many left-handers in the 11, they decided not to pick uh, McConkey. They went in with Jacob Duffy, which I understand why, because Jacob Duffy did very well against India in the home series, India's home series recently. Uh, I think in the game where they won, I think there also Jacob Duffy bowled well. I don't know about the stats, I don't recall them correctly, but I remember seeing him actually troubling our Indian batters towards the start. Of course, towards the end, everybody was banged for plenty of runs, but he seemed like a good bowler. My concern is maybe he should have come in for some other pacer, maybe Lockey or somebody. How do you see this
No,
change?
I would like to disagree on both of the points. The thing is, Jacob Duffy, when you are saying that he was doing good, I don't remember him doing good against India apart from the first or the second game. I'll read out the stats for a second. So
No, no.
Jacob
So
Duffy
that
went
second,
at,
but if
I'll
you
give you,
get
wait,
the
wait,
one
wait,
two
wait a
overs,
second.
he did well.
No. Wait, I'll tell you. So Jacob Duffy went at 10.7 in the 5 games that he played against India in the series in January and only picked up 6 wickets. And leading into the final also, he was not in great of forms. That's why he was not preferred to start. Coming into the final also, his economy was 10.8 and he played against Canada, Arab Emirates, and Afghanistan, 3 games, and only one big opponent you can call South Africa. So that's what Jacob Duffy was not an ideal selection given the conditions or whatever, as well as the form that he was in. So that was a poor choice, in my opinion. Also, the thing that you said, actually, I would agree on that. That Cole McConkey should have played because he was bowling well. He was handy with the bat as well in the game against Sri Lanka. I think he scored 35 odd runs, not out in the game against Sri Lanka when their batting crumbled altogether. So I really didn't understand because he got rid of Ryan Rickelton and Quinton de Kock, who were like who were top performers for South Africa in the tournament and good numbers against spin as well, both of them. I really don't understand. And also, if you remember the presser of Surya Kumar Yadav before the final, there was a kind of a debate over it that why Surya didn't answer this question that
Hmm.
our we lost 15 wickets to finger spin and our strike rate was 120. So they had this finger spinner and we had this finger spinner issue. I really don't understand why they decided to drop him. So that was, you can call, a very weird decision at New
So
Zealand's part.
So about Jacob Duffy, like I said, I saw him bowl and I felt like he is good. Like I told you, stats might be whatever they are. He is a good bowler. Let me tell you that. At least at the starting phase. So you could try to get two early wickets with him. From that perspective, I understood the selection, but not over McConkey. Why? Because of the reasons that you already told. Also, one other input I want to tell you. Of course, I couldn't see this in the stadium because, of course, too far you cannot see these kind of minute details, but there was one reel where Surya just looked at the team sheet and pointed towards the dressing room key, like there's no off spinner in the 11. He was, you could see him mouthing that to the dressing room when he just checked the team sheet. Of course, I think he would have been very happy to look at the 11. And I think as much as we are surprised, even the Indian team dressing room was surprised as well, is what I feel. Again, good thing for India. The only potential trouble that they could have done to India towards the start was not there at all.
Yeah,
So that,
I,
hmm,
I mean, you look at all the games. You look at the game against Pakistan. We really
hmm,
had troubles against finger spin. Although you can
yeah,
say that those conditions were not ideal for batting,
yeah.
but still we had our troubles because we are going like at 6 runs and over, which the kind of power and the brand of cricket we play usually. It's on. it's very, you can call, uncharacteristic of it. So
Hmm.
we were not enjoying that time against off spinners, especially.
Exactly.
So so to
And
bring back
also,
Duffy, and the part about Duffy, what you were saying, I also agree that he's a very good bowler because in 2025, I think he was the top wicket taker across formats in international cricket. So that means he's a good bowler. But the problem is with him is he was not able to find his ideal length in the subcontinent so far, whatever games he played.
hmm. Anyway, I think let's talk about the power play. Again, ek to he didn't pick an off spinner. Secondly, I think maybe he could have tried Glenn Phillips for a second over, because, or maybe he could have brought himself onto into the attack, because you see the first two overs were very quiet. They went for 12 runs, and in the stadium I was like worrying about this. Why aren't they, you know, going for the big hits? Actually, Sanju did after the first four balls. He hit a sixer, but I was a bit worried. Ki, are we gonna play slow cricket today? Are we not gonna go into our normal zone that we do? But fortunately, we did it right in the third over itself. But given all those scenarios, I felt maybe an extra over of spin could have probably kept India a bit more quiet, at least in the power play. At least you could have tried, because you were feeding fast bowlers and India were just absolutely feasting on them. Every over was worth like 20 plus at least, because from 12 without loss in 2 overs to I think almost 90, we got 92 in the power play if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah,
So 80 runs in the next 4 overs tells you that it went with an average of 20. Do you think bowling a spinner would have helped them?
I think bowling a spinner would have helped them, or even continuing with Matt Henry would have helped them better, if you ask me, because Matt Henry has been instrumental with the new ball. Yeah, what we have seen over the years, Matt Henry is a phenomenal new ball bowler. Even in the T20 series against India, he was the one who gave us troubles. He was the one who got rid of Sanju Samson in, I think, three times. Three times he got rid of Sanju. And with the kind of form Sanju was coming in into the semi-final, I think, and with the off spinner out of the equation, I think the main target for New Zealand would have to been to get rid of Sanju Samson. And even in the first over, Sanju only got him out, got a six out of, only could hit him for six. Remaining four balls, Sanju didn't even attempt. And the last ball was a single. So that is what I think that was something that they missed there. Then again, bringing in Jacob Duffy, and Jacob Duffy, what I saw of him previously, he is someone like a Hazelwood. Like he will hit the ball, hit hard length, get some bounce. He's very tall, I think 6'4" or 6'5", Jacob Duffy. So he is also a similar kind of a bowler to what Josh Hazelwood does. But from the very start, he started bowling the cutters, and this was not a wicket where you start bowling cutters from the very start,
Yep.
because with the new ball it is going to come onto the bat really nicely, even even with the off-pace balls. And Abhishek took a full toll of it, and I think the third over went for some 17 runs. I think the first over of Jacob Duffy, they ended at 3 overs 29. Then after that, it was another horrendous decision to bring Lockie Ferguson in. I mean, Lockie Ferguson, for a large part of his career, has been a middle over bowler, something similar to what a Mark Wood does. Because with that
Yep.
extra pace, you need that extra protection on the boundaries. So, also could not understand his process there, because he was start from the very start. He was trying to bowl in leg cutters, and Sanju as well as Abhishek took full toll of it. I think they smashed him for 23, if I'm not wrong, 23 or 25 of the first over. He bowled some four or five wides as well in that over. And at the end of 4 overs, we were at 4 overs 56. And then again, they smacked Henry for some 10, 12 runs. And again, the last over of the power play went for 20 plus runs. So in the first 6 overs itself, you could see that there were three 20 plus runs overs,
Yep.
which, which you can say we got a picture of what is going to come in the following game, in the following overs. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much. To be exact, they scored uh, 78 runs of the last 21 balls of the power play. We were 14 for no loss at 2.3, and we ended up at 92 for no loss. So that was a
Yeah.
phenomenal power play. I think the largest score in the power play in the tournament itself.
I'm not complaining. I had a lot of fun there. To be very honest, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
happy
sure.
pointing out New Zealand's mistakes now. In the stadium, I was like, please do
Yeah,
get
yeah,
some
yeah.
runs, get some runs. I was that way. So
The thing is, the times that we have been praying for, the only game we wanted, that we were afraid that, okay, this is the big game, we should not go into our shell, we should go all guns blazing, and the openers did it.
yeah,
They just went all guns blazing, and we end up scoring the highest aggregate in the power play in the entire tournament,
yeah.
across all teams. So, what more can you ask for? So, whatever we have been dreaming for the last 2 years, it came in at the right time and the right game.
I mean, if you look at it, people have been saying, like right from the start, and not wrong also, that India is not playing at its 100%. This is not the perfect game. This is not the perfect game. All the way, even in the semi final, because in the semi final, our bowling was taken for plenty of runs on that wicket. So I remember you and me discussing, I told you, right? Any other team apart from India and England would have definitely been able to chase this total down because that kind of wicket and due. The only difference for us was Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah,
So, and everybody was saying, rightly so, that India wasn't playing at its 100%. This is not India's perfect game. And that perfect game came in the final. I mean, that's God's plan. That's destiny for us. 2 years we worked really hard, and the results are there.
yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure.
let,
At
let's
the
talk
end of the
about.
power play,
Hmm.
and the best part is the guy who everyone was after, uh, Abhishek Sharma. He got a 50, a sub 20 ball 50. I think which
Hey,
was the fastest 50 of the tournament.
I know he gave credit to Shivam Dube. He said that he played with Shivam Dube's bat and everything, right? I agree. But I think some of the credit goes to me as well. I wore this jersey, Abhishek 4, if you could see. No, no, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I can see.
I wore this jersey first time to the stadium, and Abhishek Sharma, 50 man, come on, I deserve my credit. Make sure you cut a reel out of this and send it to Abhishek Sharma. I need my credit. Come on, I got him the luck. So, anyway,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
uh,
Yeah,
what a day he picked to actually perform. His mentor, Yuvraj Singh, he is the king of knockouts. He used to be for us when he used to play at the peak of his abilities. 2007, be it that 30 of 70 against Australia, be it those six sixes, fastest 50 versus England, or if you go to the 2011 World Cup, that run chase against Australia. I mean, he's been a phenomenal player for us over the years. And his mentee, Abhishek Sharma, I mean, fitting tribute to UVPA by just absolutely thrashing everybody in the final. I think he has the fastest 50 of the tournament, if I'm not wrong,
yeah, yeah. 18 balls. Yeah,
18 balls 50. And he just absolutely nailed on the day of the final. That's what you need. That's what you get. And that's what you want when you back your players. And here, I think the team management did a great job. I also remember an interview where Abhishek Sharma said that Surya Bhai told me that even if I get 8 zeros, I'll be the one who will play the final. So great job there from the captain.
yeah. And I think it's more on the technical part, if you ask me, that because why he was feeling. Yeah, mindset can be a problem when you get three ducks and all. But also, what I read from the report is he had some issue with the oblique because the oblique muscles, which are kind of key when you play a lot of cross-batted shots, which he does because his bat swing is like that from side of the body. So he had some issue with the oblique. He had not fully recovered from that stomach bug thing, and which was kind of hindering his performance. We saw a bit of it in the Zimbabwe game when he was not able to put in that power into the shots, and even against West Indies when he could not loft it completely. Same with the England game because the shots that he got out to, it was not. He usually will put those in the stands. If you see the long handle coming in and the ball flies off to the long on boundary over the long on side, but
Yeah,
instead the bat was turning in his hand and it went straight down deep mid wicket's throat against West Indies to Hetmeyer, then against England to Phil Salt. So that was a concern, and luckily he recovered in time, and the power was back, and so were the runs.
yep. And talking about runs, another guy with a beautiful story, Sanju Samson. I mean, Come on, he wasn't part of the team. Our last video, I think we had this discussion whether Sanju Samson. Obviously, at that point of time, the decision was already taken. Ishan Kishan was your new opener. We said it at that point of time. Like, this decision is a very difficult one given Sanju's form, and compare that to Ishan's form. You ideally would want to back your batter, but you couldn't. If you don't, also at that point of time made sense, because those two guys were having very different like contrast of fortunes. And we said at that point of time, it's neither a good decision nor a bad decision. You could do anything
But it
and
was a fair decision.
it was a
Not
fair decision. Yeah, you could
fair
do
decision.
either way. I mean, whatever you would have done there, it would have been fair. Like, if you had continued with Sanju, it would have been fair, because that's he's the guy who you've been backing. If you went with Ishan because of the form, because the way he was scoring those runs, he scored 100 against New Zealand, and what a magnificent 100 that was. So
Yeah,
you couldn't bench him either. So yeah, and I think eventually everybody would agree with that also. I know it's very uh, it's very easy, and it's very easy to make those kind of like poetic justice and those kind of reels that team management didn't care about him. They didn't. It sounds very good to listen to those comeback stories, but I think in this particular scenario we should not delve into those kind of things. Rather, we should actually appreciate Sanju for stepping up when the opportunity was presented to him. And instead of going into that mode of, okay, team management didn't back him, they did back him, and they had to bench him because there was somebody who was doing better. And ultimately, it's about winning the tournament for the country over backing an individual. It is always true, right? And that's what they did at that point of time. So instead of going back and criticizing that guys didn't back Sanju, we should actually sit down and appreciate Sanju for actually stepping up when it really mattered and scoring those runs. You get what I'm trying to say? We should look
yeah,
at the positive aspect of this rather than going back to there.
yeah. And I think he came back really well in the West Indies game. Even if you see his inning, yeah, the inning was completely well paced because his strike rate never dropped beneath 160 in that game. If you see, and his scoring percentage on either side of the wicket was the same. It took guard after he scored a 50, a beautiful observation by DK on air. That is something we see from the Mumbai batters usually when they reach a milestone. That okay, we reach a milestone, again we start fresh, like I'm starting from a zero. That is a great
Exactly.
mentality. So that day I knew that okay, this game is Sanju Samson's game, and there is no way West Indies is going to win this till Samson is there on the wicket.
And
And
eagle-eyed
after
viewers
that,
might have
against
noticed what Sanju did with the marking of the guard. Sachin used to do it all the time. If you have seen
yeah,
Sachin
yeah,
bat
after
in Test cricket,
yeah,
especially,
exactly. That is something that they say it is taught in Mumbai School of Cricket. Means anyone who comes from Mumbai circuit, they do it. May it be Sachin or after that, like Shreyas Iyer or anyone. That is something they teach in Mumbai cricket. Then the game against England, I think he was flawless and he hammered the bowlers at the 1 KD. And then again in the final, I think when the odds were against really him, when the chips were down, reason being Matt Henry had his number in the previous series to the World Cup, which actually caused all of this drama to happen. So Sanju, I think, did a phenomenal job by keeping his headspace, by keeping himself in the right headspace and doing what he does the best. That is to take some time, absorb the pressure, and just go bang bang, and take some time and get a sighter. In the final, you need to get a sighter. You can't go bashing from the first ball against someone like a Matt Henry.
yeah.
So I think that was really smart from him to be watchful for the first over. Then after that, he got a good view of the wicket, how it was doing, and then he went about it. And the best part about Sanju's knock was there was this over. Means every time the spinner was going to have a good over, and they sent in a pacer. Sanju used to bash the pacer badly. And after that, that actually altered the New Zealand bowling plans a lot as well. If you see, every time the spinner comes in, he bowls a good over, made by Santner, made by Rachin Ravindra. The next over, Sanju smashes two sixes on the first ball, and scoring rate goes high again.
I think the three innings that Sanju played were non-Sanju-esque knocks, to be honest. If I have to put it that way, because Sanju is somebody who is very explosive right from the get-go. That he did. If you look at those three innings differently, like starting from West Indies knock, he was very explosive at the start, but he identified the situation that okay, we have lost a couple of wickets. When Ishan took charge and again he got out, then he saw the thing where okay, I actually need to be a bit more patient with my shots. So you see a lot more force than success from Sanju. He pierced those gaps beautifully rather than going for those big hits, which he usually does. He played an uncharacteristically different knock, actually way to score runs, but eventually he maintained his strike rate the way he actually plays. So that is something that I really liked. The evolution of Sanju Samson we saw in these three different innings. Secondly, that was first innings, right? We were chasing against West Indies. That was his role. Against England, he took on the bowlers again right at the start when we were setting a target, and he did not stop. I don't think he stopped anywhere. He went all in against everybody, even Jofra Archer, which was his negative matchup. Also, there was a dropped catch from Harry Brook, but he still managed to get those sixes of Jofra Archer, right? Because that was a different wicket. You could hit it in the air more than compared to maybe an
You
Ahmedabad.
can hit it on the line,
Yeah, it was
hit it
coming
by
on,
covering the line nicely
and
onto the
ground was
bat.
also small. So even if you like edge, it will go for a six kind of a wicket. That was Wankhede. That ground was like that. But in Ahmedabad, he didn't start with a bang bang. He did hit a six, but that ball was in his arc. He waited for deliveries to do that. He saw what the pitch is offering, and as you mentioned, how he tackled the spinners. Santner was a negative matchup for him, so he took those singles, rotated strike, at the cost of maybe a few points on his strike rate. I significantly remember two moments. Sanju was 50 of 33. I was thinking, okay, Sanju is batting maybe a bit slow. The next two balls, he hits two sixes, makes it 62 of
I think
35.
Ravindra, I think
Yeah,
against Ravindra, hit three sixes on that trot.
yeah. Okay, that was three sixes on the trot. And then there was another time, I think this was towards the end of his innings, where he again hit two sixes. He was 70 of 42 maybe, or 76 of 42, whatever that kind of thing. He hit two sixes. Again, he came to like 200 plus strike rate. That kind of he hit it in a very balanced manner
Yeah,
in the
that was
final.
of Lockie Ferguson. Of Lockie
Uh,
Ferguson hit
Yeah,
two
I don't
sixes,
remember
correct?
the bowlers now. I was just enjoying those sixes, but so I saw a very different Sanju Samson in all the three knocks, and I saw a very matured Sanju Samson. Usually, Sanju comes in and he whacks from ball one. That's how his cricket has been. Go back to 2020 New Zealand series when everybody was saying, "Okay, this is probably the last opportunity for Sanju Samson. This is it. After this, he's not gonna get a game." Back in 2020, what he does, he comes in, first ball, whacks it out of the ground, 6 runs. Okay, sorry, this was West Indies. In New Zealand, and in the second ball, he got out. This was against West Indies, just a few series before that. And this pattern was there. And in the New Zealand series, what happened? First ball, he comes in, hits it in the air, he gets out, zero. And that's how Sanju has always been. He doesn't bother. He comes in, he attacks, plays very selfless cricket, and eventually, I would say Team India wanted a batsman like Sanju to be in the 11 because that's how our game has evolved. Eventually, when it mattered, Sanju took the chance. Even in the Namibia game, man, even in the Namibia game when Abhishek was out, Sanju got a chance. He scored 8 ball 22. He didn't look to like, rotate, strike, and everything. No, he was there. His job was to attack from ball one, and he did it. So, really appreciate his innings.
What I have observed over the years with Sanju is Sanju was really good after the power play. If you see for his Rajasthan Royal, the stint with Rajasthan Royals, and whatever games he played for India as well, he was excellent after the power play. That's why we used to see those whenever he used to bat, we used to see those long innings. Otherwise, it's a goner. He's a goner. Like under 10 only, he'll throw his wicket away. But this World Cup, what he has done stupendously well was batting fast in the power play. Okay, one thing can be the out of form Abhishek Sharma, which kind of compelled him to do so. Uh, the other thing can be the role clarity that you are saying about that everyone, the opener, especially the openers, you have to go ballistic from ball one. So all of these things combined into a beautiful story for Sanju Samson, and he came out with the best aggregate in the tournament finals. I think he surpassed Virat Kohli as well with 289s. I mean, that will be 178 runs across two innings. He surpassed Virat Kohli, which was 146 in 2014, his aggregate by some margin. And also the strike rate was over 200 for Sanju. So all in all, I think Sanju had a terrific outing with the bat in the last three games.
Yep, yep. And talking
Also
about
ended up
comeback,
man of the tournament. Man of the tournament. Kudos to him.
I mean, spectacular, I would say. He really and thoroughly deserved it. The only other contender there would have been Jesse for me, but it's okay. Jesse already
I
won it
mean,
in
I mean,
2022.
if you ask me, for me, the man of the match would have been Samson in this case, and the man of the tournament should have been Bumrah. I will come to it later in this video when we discuss about Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah, though I mean, I felt the same way, but I'm like, okay, Jesse already has one in 2024, so let's give it to
Yeah,
Samson. It's okay. One for
yeah,
MI, one for CSK.
yeah,
Come on, already in that mode. We'll see you in 20 days.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Why
anywho,
not? Yeah.
let's talk about the next guy. Talking about comebacks, Ishan Kishan. I mean, for this one, I think we should just stand up and applaud. Firstly, the selectors, the new set of selectors that we have, RP Singh, Pragyan Oja. I I mean, we should appreciate Ajit Agarkar as well because he's the chief selector. But I don't think he would have done this had he been the sole responsible authoritarian here. Why? I'll tell you, because the beef between BCCI and Ishan Kishan, I mean, this started with Agarkar and Rohit Sharma. I don't want to blame Rohit Sharma here too much because mostly it was from the selector side, mainly Ajit Agarkar. And both Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer, they wanted to make an example out of these two guys, which I understand. But I think they did it too much. Like, it was very unfair for these guys because these guys were not the only ones who missed domestic matches, especially with Shreyas Iyer, if you ask me, because Shreyas just missed one match. That too, he had a legit back injury. These guys didn't trust him, but because they were oosting Ishan Kishan, they just threw Shreyas Iyer under the bus as well. But the main victim of that scenario was Ishan Kishan. I understand you could have given him a punishment of maybe 5 6 months or whatever, but to keep him out of the side for 2 years, that was actually not done. He was hard done by BCCI, and thankfully to our new selectors, they brought him back in, and to our head coach and team management, they took him into the 11, and then you saw the performance that you saw.
I think there is another part to the story as well. I think the domestic part, especially the last 2 years, he grinded hard in the domestic circuit as well. If you
Yes,
see his numbers, he grinded really hard in the domestic circuit. Made with the 50 over format, the red ball format, or the even the T20, which was his ballpark. I think he did really well with with a team like Jharkhand to win the Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy, and that
phenomenal,
too being that
phenomenal achievement.
to be the top scorer. I think it takes great guns,
He led from the
and
front. He
he,
led from
yeah,
the
yeah,
front.
yeah, and to the selectors' credit, they did make a notice of this and made amends of whatever decisions that they took in the past. Because see, in my opinion, if you are not playing Rishabh Pant at that point of time, because Rishabh Pant was not there in the scenario because of his accident, and Ishan Kishan was an automatic choice in all the formats at that point of time as a keeper. I don't know what happened between him and Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma in the behind the closed doors during that tour of South Africa, where he just quit midway, citing mental fatigue issues. But that was not taken well by BCCI, and they fined him heavily by taking away his contract, then throwing him out of the team, completely out of the system. And he did well. I mean, he did phenomenally well in the domestic circuit to launch a comeback into the team. And what time to come back? What a time to come back. I mean, also, his performances speak of his talent in this tournament.
I think Ishan.
The iconic 77 against Pakistan at almost 200 strike rate, that dead wicket at Premadasa, then 64 of 21 against Namibia, then a quick fire 18 against Netherlands before getting out to the clumsiest of methods, and then again 38 against Zimbabwe, 39 against England, and again a quick fire 50 at 200 strike rate against uh, New Zealand in the final. I mean, terrific tournament for Ishan Kishan as well.
Absolutely,
Also,
absolutely.
also, when the team management decided to shift him at three, that was also a mental shift for him as well, because all this time he was planned to bat at as the opener when something unfortunate happened with Rinku and they had to make these changes. So I think he did it brilliantly as well.
Yeah, I think the personification. If I have to just talk about Ishan Kishan in one sentence, I'll just say Ishan Kishan in this World Cup is the personification of Team India since 2024 to 2026 in T20I cricket, because that's exactly what he did. No matter the circumstances, no matter the situation at hand, he had only one job and one job only. That is to go bang bang, which he did. In every single game, he might have gotten out on zero against Aiden Markram. The ball that was going out, he hit it. He tried to hit towards point. He got caught, was out on zero. Maybe the game against West Indies where he got just 10 of 5. But one thing that he ensured was to never have a drop in momentum, regardless
Yeah,
of what happens. And that actually was very important for us in, I think, almost every game, because once the tempo breaks at the start of the innings, it is very, very difficult for you to gain back that rhythm and go bang bang again. Certainly, you wouldn't see these 250 plus scores if not for that tempo enhancing knocks. If I have to put it that way, from Ishan Kishan,
yeah,
even in the final.
uh, yeah, for sure. I think that is something he did really well, because that was the problem that we were seeing with the next two people we're going to discuss about, Surya and Tilak, when they used to get stuck in the middle till the South Africa game, and that is what this change brought in place. Ishan Kishan at number three, which meant you can go absolutely ballistic in the power play even if there are fall of wickets.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that brings us to the next phase of the game. Like up until 15 overs, we were doing great. We were 203, I think, in 15 overs. And then the last 5 6 overs, I think 14 overs, we were 203. Yeah.
No, 15 overs.
15 overs, 20. Okay,
15
14 overs,
overs, yeah, 15 overs.
15 overs, 2 3, 2 or 3. So the last 5 overs, I mean, we couldn't get, we couldn't buy a run sort of for 2 3 4 overs until Shivam Dubey came in. And that phase was batted through by Sky, Tilak, and Hardik. Hardik, I think, was really kind of stuck there at the crease. Sky, I will not blame. I think he played the right shot at that situation, just that he didn't time it well and he got caught. He didn't waste any balls, so that's good thing. And already team had enough score on the board and enough batters to come in, so which was right. So I won't go into criticizing Sky for this final. Yeah, maybe the innings before that in the semi-final, maybe the innings against West Indies. So there you can maybe criticize him a bit, and how he has batted overall throughout the tournament, barring that one innings against USA. But I
USA.
think I think for the final, there's no blame on him. Let's talk about Hardik. Hardik, I think he kind of has this weakness. If the ball is slow and if it is wide of him, he hasn't been able to kind of put it away. More recently, this has happened, not like since the start of his career or something, but more recently, this has happened a lot to him. Unless there's some good pace on the ball and he's able to hit it over the third man region, the aura edits that you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
with that shot.
yeah. One thing with Hardik is he's trying to hit the ball too hard. Even he admitted that thing, but somehow it still keeps on happening. And that is one reason what I see uh, is not able to hit those balls out of the park in the on the slower wickets, as you say, or on the slower balls. And to talk about Surya, I think Surya in the last two games I won't blame him because in the last game also he scored 11 of 6. Yeah, it will count as a failure as a batter. But if you see the situation, I don't think he did anything wrong there. There were a lot of batters to come in and he tried his best, missed the sweep, got stumped. Then again yesterday in the final, then he tried to scoop one and Rachid Ravindra was well placed at the long leg boundary to take that catch. So I don't think I want to blame Surya the batter for these two games. Yeah, against the West Indies game, yeah, I think he had to do a better job there. Being the senior pro there, I think he completely lost it there because he slowed down the game, got out, and put all the pressure in the incoming batsman and as well as Sanju in that case. Kudos to Tilak, who actually played a gem of innings at the Eden Gardens and took us through, or rather helped us get through.
Yeah. I mean,
So yeah, and for Tilak Verma, as I think Tilak Verma, the we should talk more, I believe, because he is someone who had to do the toughest job and who had a lot of scrutiny on him after that South Africa game. Because see, everything about Abhishek was getting out, but he was not wasting any balls. So it was kind of okay understood that he plays this high risk, high reward kind of a game, and he is going to fail on times. But with Tilak, that story was a bit different. He used to get stuck and he almost was batting at run a ball against spin bowlers in the middle phase of the innings. So he was shifted to a new role because of some because of that unfortunate incident with Rinku, and they had to make some change. Also after the defeat to South Africa, they had to make a strategic shift, and they shifted Tilak down the order at number 6 or number 7, being and made him the new finisher, and he came out all guns blazing. If you see the game against Zimbabwe, he scored a quick fire 46 of 22, I think, and then against West Indies 27 of 15. The impetus was there. Then because at the time when Sky got out, the game was really slowed down, and it could have gone either way if Tilak also took some balls and you know got out or something like that, or even if Sanju got out, we could have been done at that point of time. But Tilak took it on him and scored a quick fire 27 of 15. Then against England, 21 of 7, scoring three sixes of Jofra Archer was just phenomenal. Then again, yesterday, means in the final, he didn't get a lot of balls, but I know he would have done really well. But in all, to adjust into a new role from being a top three batter to completely become a finisher in between of a tournament like T20 World Cup, I think hats off to the young man there, as well as the management for backing him.
yeah, I think firstly credit goes to the management here because again, I'm not going too much detail into it. We'll get to it towards the end because I kept one short segment for the team management as well. Will just a reference that we're gonna get there. Uh, so for Tilak personally, like going into the tournament, he was your top three batters. Lot of hype. He was kind of your star batter, kind of the Virat Kohli role that was given to him. That you are going to be at number three. You are going to be our guy who will hold the innings together, who will finish run chases. So going into the tournament when you are put on that kind of, I wouldn't say pedestal, but you were given such a big role, right? And then suddenly over the course of the tournament, regardless of what you've done over the 2 years, how well you have performed your role. The Asia Cup final, for example, like it was a phenomenal knock. If you go through the scorecard for me, and from what I've been hearing from people, because I didn't watch the match, but yeah, that after playing those kind of innings, when suddenly your role is diminished, it definitely has to hurt. Like, he is also a human being. Of course, he might not come out and say this anywhere, but in his heart, definitely he would have felt that inch, like felt that bit of sadness that okay, my role has been degraded. But kudos to the man, how he has adapted to the new role firstly, and without any, I think this is the best part of this side, because they are always there for each other, everybody. He took it in his stride and he did the best that he could do with the role that he was given. And I think he has done a great job overall. You were talking about the West Indies innings. I was particularly impressed with the way partnership batting happened between him and Sanju. Obviously, Sanju plays pace well, but when it is high pace, he kind of struggles a bit. If it's a short delivery, we all know that's the reason why he was kept out also from the team. So at that point of time, I think Shamar Joseph it was who was bowling 145 clicks on that day as well. Of course, Sanju took him for boundaries as well, but it was Tilak who scored three boundaries in that one over, which kind of shifted the momentum back towards India, because we had two quiet overs. We talked about Surya's dismissal. Post that, we had two quiet overs.
Also, also,
Seven
his
ball
toughest
21.
nemesis was the Roston Chase on that game, and he hit a six of Roston Chase. Only two balls he faced against Roston Chase, and hit a
Yeah,
six out of one of them.
yeah.
So yeah, Tilak Verma did a fantastic job.
He did a fantastic job. These kind of small shifts in momentum is what actually defines the game. We we talk about a lot of stuff, right? We talk about a lot of analysis. We talk a lot about numbers. Yes, they are present. Of course, it would be stupid to say 100 is waste or something like that. We'd be absolute fools to say that. But those things are there to set up the games. It is these kind of small momentum while knocks that actually gives you the win. These are the phases which you need to win to actually end up on the winning or losing side, because the margin in T20 cricket is just that much. If you talk about the England game, they lost by 7 runs. Of course, yeah, you can say those three sixes of Dubey towards the end. Okay, whatever. We were winning comfortably. But who knows, man? Maybe couple of hits here and there. Let's say if it was instead of a 6 run over from Jasprit Bumrah, maybe if it was a 10 run over from Bumrah, it is still good. Maybe the 8 run or 10 run over, whatever that was of Hardik, maybe if that was a 12 run over or a 15 run over, then what? Right? Anything could have happened. So it is very important to see the game in these phases also, which I think Tilak has done a great job uh, post that shift in his batting order. The knock against Zimbabwe also, and knock against England also, 7 ball 21. That actually pushed the score from 230 to 250.
250, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Yeah.
And
So
again,
the next
now
man,
talking about this small momentum knock, 7 ball 21 of Tilak in the semi final, the equivalent of that happened in the final, and that was our guy Shivam Dubey.
yeah, and
Pratik, I think.
I want to apologize to Shivam Dubey. I would
Yeah,
really like to
me too, man. Me too. Me too.
because
I think
yeah, because
see, we are right about a lot of things, and we make sure that we in our next whenever we discuss, we talk about that. Okay, these things we already discussed, and this is what is right. I think it's very important for us to also acknowledge when we were wrong, and we were
yeah, for sure.
absolutely wrong about Shivam Dubey, both of us.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about what we used to think was Shivam Dubey maybe is not the most eye-catching batter that you would want, or maybe not the most efficient batters against high-quality bowling. But this World Cup, I mean, it has proved us wrong on so many levels against
Yeah,
Shivam Dubey. When it comes to Shivam Dubey, the batter, I think the knocks he played against Netherlands first, then I think some Pakistan the cameo with the towards the towards the end what he played, and then again against those two boundaries against West Indies, what Jasprit Bumrah mentioned, then some runs against uh, England, not some runs, 43 of 25. It may look that it is bit slow, given the context of the game when we scored 250. But the thing is, he kept Adil Rashid out of the game. He had four sixes of Adil Rashid. England were in no mood to bowl Adil Rashid out till Dubey was on the crease, and that actually propelled the score 20 runs over what we could have got. So, and again in the final, the last over of nation, he scored 25 runs. So, all in all, I think Dubey has just outdone himself, outdone our
And the West
expectations,
Indies
and
game,
kudos
and
to
the West
him.
Indies game, the two
Yeah, yeah, West
fours,
Indies game I told. Two boundaries.
17 and 2 boundaries. So
Exactly what Bumrah told to Sanjay in the presser or in the post-match interview. So that's what. That's it. So Dubey, I think the batter has outdone himself in this tournament. Yeah, the bowling part, yeah, we can have a discussion on it, but I think purely as a batter, I think he has done a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. I think hands down.
I think the concerns that we raised were still valid from an all-rounder perspective, because the way we were looking at things at that point of time was it was a Dubey or a Rinku, because we weren't looking Shivam Dubey as an all-rounder. At the end of the day, doesn't matter how much you argue, it was also true. Yes, we used him as our sixth bowler on many occasions, but against top teams on those kind of wickets, which we were expecting, maybe be it Eden, be it Wankhede, or be it the flat road of Ahmedabad in the final, as people famously are calling it, although I don't think it is the case. On those wickets, because we knew they were very conducive to batting, Shivam Dubey wouldn't be your sixth bowler because you couldn't use him in crunch situations, which also turned out to be true. So, looking purely as a batter, we felt Rinku had a better range because he could, of course, with spin, he would also struggle a bit, but for pace bowling, he was a phenomenal batter. And towards the end, you get these pacers. So, we felt that that was a better option. But given how Dubey has improved over the last couple of years and the way that he has batted, of course, we probably have underestimated him, to be very honest. I don't find any other word other than that. And very
Yeah,
happy again. But despite saying all these things, one thing that we've always held very dear to is that it doesn't matter who plays. Even we said this for Shubman Gill as well. If Shubman Gill was in the 11, like uh, in the World Cup as well,
or Sanju.
you know, yeah, we would have said, okay, this is not the right call, but nevertheless, we're going to support Shubman Gill because he's playing for India. And I think that stance is something which is never going to change from us. And that way we did back Shivam Dubey. And I'm really happy, really, really happy. I mean, as a CSK fan, it makes me even more happier that Shivam Dubey is doing very well for India. And I hope he continues to prove us wrong and he works on facing bowlers when they bowl at a crisp pace and bowl short to him. That's a challenge that he's going to face in Australia if he's part of the squad, and that is something that I feel he needs to overcome. So we'll see how he does. I hope he does well. I hope he does because he is, I think, the most underrated performer in this World Cup alongside Akshar Patel. Silent performer, but at least
I
I'm
would
happy
say
that Dubey is getting the acknowledgement from everybody now.
I would say the greatest compliment from my side, what I can give to Shivam Dubey is, I think he outbatted Hardik Pandya in this tournament by quite a
Absolutely,
margin.
absolutely, absolutely.
Me being
Hardik
a
Pandya has
me being
the
a
matches, but
me being a massive Hardik Pandya fan, I acknowledge that Shivam Dubey in this tournament has outbatted Hardik in most of the situations. You see, means it
yeah,
had to take a couple of or three run-outs to keep him out of the game. Can you imagine that? Otherwise,
yeah, I
his
saw
numbers
those.
would have been much better as well. You never know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
That's how good he has been.
Yep. Yep. So that's about Shivam Dubey. Now, let's talk about the flow of the game. I think that's with the bat. We did a phenomenal job. We talked about the stories of all our batters as well. Now, we left Sky, but we left him for a good reason. We'll talk about it towards the end when we get to team management. Let's talk about the bowling department. Of course, for Bumrah, I don't want to spend too much time because we all know he's the effing goat, goat of all goats. There is absolutely no other bowler, at least the number of years that I have seen cricket. I have seen McGrath maybe towards the, you can say, last three,
Fag
four
end
years
of
of,
this career.
yeah.
Fag end of
Uh,
his career.
but I have seen Dale Steyn at the peak of his powers. I have seen Shane Bond again, not that much because his career towards the end again was injury prone. But I've seen him bowl. I'm not talking about numbers. I'm purely talking about skill set. I'm purely talking about the way they bowl, the situations they bowl. I have never seen a fast bowler better than Jasprit Bumrah in white ball cricket. Period. Maybe in red ball also,
For sure.
but red ball
Maybe.
I value longevity, so I would still pick Dale Steyn and Glenn McGrath, maybe even Jimmy Anderson over Bumrah because just because of longevity. But purely impact wise in white ball cricket, I don't think there is any comparison.
I think the only comparison I can bring in of Jasprit Bumrah in white ball is to be Waqar Yunis. Nobody
Okay.
else. Nobody else. Waqar Yunis used to bowl those kind of spells where he used to completely annihilate oppositions. So after that, yeah, maybe numbers wise, you can say there are bowlers who are better than both of these, like Glenn McGrath or Wasim Akram or Chaminda Vas, maybe at some point of his career. Brett Lee was there, quite impactful. Shoaib was terrifyingly quick. But Wakar and Bumrah, I think they are on a different pedestal altogether. I mean, I think impact wise, I think Bumrah has been way, way, way better because the point is he hasn't had the great of partners in bowling. I mean, when I tell about greatest partners, I mean bowlers of same level. We don't have that kind of talent, to be
Bumrah had
honest. No,
Lee
with
had
no
McGrath, Steyn
Lee
had
had Lee had Stein had a Makaya Antini towards the start. Then there was
Philander.
a Morning Morkel. Morning Morkel,
Philander
six to
was
eight
not white ball.
seven.
Yeah,
Yeah, Morning Morkel was there. Then Shane Bond used to have. I think that Daryl Tuffy was there. Kyle
Chris
Mills
Kane
was
was
there.
there.
They
Chris
were
Kane was a very good bowler.
Chris Cranes was kind of bit older. Yeah, but Chris Cranes was an all rounder. He was there. So all these bowlers were there with them. But we don't
Wasim
have
had
that kind
Wakar.
of an attack.
Wasim had Wakar. Wakar had
Was
Wasim.
and Shoaib Akhtar was there with them as well.
Yeah,
So that's what, because we don't have that kind of rounded attacks. People can call many things about Bumrah in any format. I mean, I feel really angry. I get jittered when I read stuff online about, and also some videos we watch, like the stock shows when they criticize Bumrah for missing, like it's like he wants to miss those games. That's why he's missing. It's not the case, my friend. Nobody wants to miss a single game for the country when you are playing at that level, but people don't really understand the situation or the gravity of the gravity of the situation, really, when they talk about Bumrah, that Stark prefers country, Bumrah prefers IPL money, all those kind of stuff.
exactly,
But when it
absolutely.
comes to ICC tournaments, you just see the impact that Bumrah brings on. I mean, I was reading this Wisden post that in last four ICC T20I World Cup games in the knockouts, Bumrah averages 13, sorry, averages 9 at an economy of 5, and has picked up nine wickets. And all the games India won by quite some margin. Only close game was the game against England recently. So that's how good he has been. I mean, how can you know, speak bad about someone like Jasprit Bumrah
I'll
at
just
any
end it.
point of time?
Let's just end it, man. Enough about Bumrah. I think everybody has talked about Bumrah. Let's end it. I'll just end it with a thala quote. बुमराह के बारे में तो कुछ नहीं, जितना कम बोलूं उतना बढ़िया. चैंपियन बॉलर भाई, दैट्स इट. नथिंग मोर टू ऐड देयर
Oh,
फॉर फ्रॉम माय साइड.
exactly. When captains, when great captains like MS, then Rohit, and someone like a Virat Kohli who calls him a national treasure, you have to, I mean, acknowledge them. I mean, you have to understand that what these people come from, how much they understand cricket.
Yeah,
It's definitely more than all of us, right?
yeah,
So we should just respect their opinions at least, and not form our own in
yeah.
these cases.
Yep. Then let's move on to our other pacers, Arshdeep Singh. I think there are plenty of occasions where Arshdeep actually missed his line and length. I think the wide Yorker ploy, I agree. But even despite that, also there are many scenarios where I saw Arshdeep absolutely like spraying it to like all around the pitch. I think that is something that needs to improve, because I know Arshdeep is a phenomenal bowler. I mean, he's at par with Bumrah in T20Is. If you look at his numbers, he's the one who can swing it both ways early on in the power play, bowl at the death, bowl those Yorkers. I think one thing that I want more from him is more consistency in the pitch map, and I think he can do it. It's not that he's not able to do it. It's just I don't know why something happens to him in his return spells, especially the game against West Indies. If you see, he bowled lot of short balls. The field wasn't placed for that, and I think those kind of innings. But all that said, I think he has been a very good partner for Jesse, and we must appreciate Ashdeep for the way he has bowled in the absence of Jasprit. In the South Africa game, if you see, Ashdeep and Jasprit Bumrah were absolutely phenomenal. Ashdeep was equal to Bumrah in that particular match, at least. So
Yeah, yeah. The problem with Arshdeep is the he has been hot and cold. Means you can't rely on him every time. Sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's not that good.
and I think that's what kind of hurts me as well, because we know he is exceptional. Just that sometimes he just goes wayward. But otherwise, he is a top bowler. I mean, equal to Bumrah also in T20 cricket, because he can bowl those. If you want him to bowl six Yorkers, he can bowl six Yorkers. He has that ability.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And maybe this is, as they say, means every time your performances don't exactly translate to numbers.
Yeah.
This might be that kind of a time for him.
Yep. Yep. And I think he has held our fort very well over the course of the last maybe 2.5, maybe even 3 years. Not to forget the way he has bowled in the 2024 final. Definitely, he is one of our biggest match winners, and he's going to be here for a long time. Don't forget that he's very young, so his
Yeah, he's
career is going
26,
to
I
be a long one.
26 or 27, I guess. 26,
Yeah.
I think.
So his career is going to be a long one, and I think off the field also he's a great entertainer. If you go through his Instagram, those reels, I mean, amazing. It's a lot of fun,
Mm.
and I think that kind of character is required to keep the tempo of the dressing room high, even when there are a lot of, you know, downfalls, which you are going to see. Of course, it's no team is going to see up and up and up. There are going to be some phases where you're going to be down, and that happened to India as well. If I'm being very honest, of course, I knew that okay, India is going to win the World Cup anyway, and it's just a matter of time. But we were in a tough spot after the South Africa game. Let's be very honest. Had West Indies beaten South Africa, also, it would have been very tricky
Game
for
over
us.
for us. Game
Yeah,
over
game.
for us. There was no way we are coming back.
Yeah. Maybe we would be with the net and rate and all, but we never know. Mostly it was done. You can say 90% we were out of the tournament if West Indies had beaten South Africa. Anyway, so let's move on to our next characters. I think Siraj and Kuldeep, I mean, they got one game each. Both of them did really well in those games. Uh, I mean, really sad to be honest, they couldn't get a game after that. Uh, but yeah, I think that's how tough the competition is in the side to break into it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about Akshar Patel and his role in the final. I mean, he got rid of Phillips, he got rid of Finn Allen, and he also got rid of Daryl Mitchell. I think
Yeah.
three most destructive batters in the New Zealand 11, and phenomenal bowling as well as the catching against England, top top quality, you can say.
So I remember a group chat where I wrote that if Akshar Patel and Hardik Pandya are in your 11 and they are fit to play in Ahmedabad, we are winning the final, regardless of who is your opposition. And I'm very happy that Chalo Pandya had a bad day, but Akshar really came to the fore. And I believe the result on that fated night of 19th November 2023 would have been different as well if we had these two players in the side, because they know those conditions very well, and it suits their skill set as well. Akshar Patel especially, and even in the Wankhede game in the semi-final, yeah, the two catches that he took, absolutely legendary. They are goated, and I think One thing we missed also in Wankhede was bowling Akshar Patel in the power play. 2 overs there also probably would have benefited us. Maybe if not two, we could have tried him for 1 over. He he could have gotten a wicket of maybe Butler or Salt, because three right-handers against Akshar Patel, he knows how to keep it tight. He knows how to bowl wicket to wicket, and he's very consistent with his length as well. So I think kind of missed there, but the same was done here. Again, a big ground gave India confidence to bowl Akshar Patel in the power play, and it did pay its rewards.
I think in the semi-final, Bumrah and Pandya got rid of Brook and Salt in the first 3 overs itself. I think because of Jacob Bethel, they didn't
Yeah,
give a chance to Akshar to bowl.
I
That was
understand
the
that,
case.
but he did come to
And
bowl in after play.
yeah,
So
only thing I can say about Akshar in the Wankhede game was there was 1 over when they could have given him a chance to bowl instead of Varun, when Varun was absolutely tongued apart,
hmm.
and that could have maybe changed the margin of our win, because maybe we could have bowled Varun in the last over and he wouldn't have gone for 22 against someone like a Jofra Archer in the last over. So that could have actually shortened the margin of the game there.
I think at that point of time that was very understandable, because at that point of time you had Jacob Bethel batting, taking strike, so you didn't want to risk a spinner, left arm spinner, that too by giving him under the dew. Maybe
No,
that
I'm
one.
saying no, no,
So this
I'm
happened
saying
in the
that
last Jofra Archer. You talked about
Akshar
Jofra
could
Archer,
have
right?
been bowled before some. Akshar could have bowled sometime before when Varun
Yeah,
was
yeah,
bowled in fourth over, and Varun could have been kept for the last over.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I got you. I got you now. Yeah, yeah. Probably that would have happened. But
That could
anyway,
have increased
huh,
the margin of runs by what
yeah,
we won.
yeah. I understand. Right. But yeah, huh. So that's that. I think about Akshat. Let's move on to
Akshar
Varun.
Patel has
What do you want to add
silent
something?
performer.
Yeah, he always has been. And if you go back and like, this is for the audience, if you can go back and check our previous videos, we always raise this question whenever Akshat Patel is not there in the side. By why is he not picked in the side? Even in test matches, we talked about this so many times. I know Gautam Gambhir prefers Washington Sundar over Akshar Patel as the all-rounder, but bro, Akshar Patel is the guy who actually wins you games. 2024 was the first time we won an ICC tournament, right? I think Akshar Patel was part of the 2015 squad. I don't remember it exactly, but I don't think he was there
Yeah, he was
after.
there. He was there. 20,
I don't think he was there
2015, he
after
was there.
that.
I
Was he
think
part of
after that he
2021?
was. No, after that he was back in 2021. Then 2022 he was there for Jadeja, as Jadeja was not there. Then 23 he was there initially. Then something happened to him. Something magical happened to him, and they brought Ashwin back.
Right,
Then
right,
in 24 onwards he's there.
right. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Ki Akshar Patel is one of your better performers. He is one of your match winners. He gives you those kind of knocks and those kind of spells which might not look fancy on the scorecard, but it gets you some crucial moments. And that's what we talked about Dubai as well, right? You need to win those crucial moments, and Tilak also in this World Cup. Those crucial moments are the ones that define the game at the end of the day. And yeah, let's move on to Varun. I think we both have been big fans of Varun, and what happened to him in 2021 after that World Cup. I can bet Varun bowled like 6 or 7 bad balls in the entire tournament. I can count those balls, right? But at the end of the day, it Indian social media doesn't work that way. People called him mystery spinner instead of mystery spinner, right? And made all sorts of mockery of him. Then cut to 2024, Gautam Gambhir gets him into the side after his KKR stint. He has phenomenal 2 years and even excellent group stage as well. Gets into the Super 8, then loses form. Didn't had the best of the World Cups, but he did okay, I would say, at least towards the start of the tournament. Overall, a good story end to him. Um, that yeah, after the debacle that was 2021, he got a chance at redemption, and I'm happy that he was able to do justice, whatever justice you can say, to his career.
Yeah, I think he ends up on the winning side finally.
Yeah,
And for me, if you ask me, uh, I would have hired him in the 24 team as well as a backup to Kuldeep Yadav ahead of Yuzi Chahal, because what the kind of season he had with KKR when they won their trophy in 24. I think it was kind of injustice with him at that point of time when he posted on social media as well that I should have
but
a better PR team and all that stuff. But again, kudos to Gambhir. When he came in, he brought him back into the setup and got the best out of him. And to talk about his performances, I mean, the group stage leading to the South Africa game, it was really good. I think he got 9 wickets in the first 4 games. A lot of drop catches of him as well. Otherwise, the number could have been higher there. But against South Africa, one thing what South Africa did really well against Varun was, especially Miller and Devil Brevis, they started hitting him down the ground. Because what we have seen over the years, Varun does not give you that length to sweep or play a swivel pull across to mid wicket. He doesn't give you that length that you cannot get underneath that ball. So the kind of square boundaries go out of the equation with Varun. So the best option for you against Varun is to hit him down the wicket. And somehow the other teams were not able to do it. But Miller and Dewald Brevis both made good use of the crease that night, and they hit him for 4 sixes in the first 2 overs itself. So that I think took a big dig on him. And then again in the Zimbabwe game, he was kind of good, but again I think Sikandar Azar took a toll on him. Then after that, it was the West Indies game. Again, Hetmeyer got a good piece of him. And luckily, towards the end, Jason Holder missed out a few of them. Otherwise, the numbers could have been even worse for him. Then against New Zealand, against England, England smacked him all
I think
to all
the
parts of the
England game
ground.
was one where he bowled extremely poorly. Yeah, the numbers also
Yeah,
prove that.
in
But I think
England
that
game,
was
he
one
bowled
game.
poorly, but the
Hmm.
best part about them playing him out was Bethel hit him for 3 sixes of his first 3 balls of the spell, and all the three were in 3 different directions. The first one was over long on, the second one was over long off, then the third one was a switch hit over point. So all in all, they played him out really well. They kind of figured out how to play him, and it played a lot on his mind, I believe. And
Yeah,
in the final, even I think they took good toll on him. 4 overs 39 or 3 overs 39
he was
conceded
30.
and got a wicket of considered
But
and
he
got a
was the
wicket of
important wicket
Seifert.
of game Seifert. Yeah, you can say game was done, but
But
he delivered
anyways,
that.
yeah,
He delivered the
yeah,
killer blow.
yeah. He delivered the killer blow, and the he ended up as the highest wicket taker of the tournament. But
Yeah,
I think it could have been really, really better for him. I believe.
absolutely, absolutely. That's what I was trying to say. It could have been a lot better ending. He actually, to be honest, deserved a better ending, but it's okay. At least what he got, like from being the scapegoat in 2021 to a World Cup winner in 2026, I think it's a fitting end to. I mean, I have to be very careful. I'm just saying it's a fitting end to his career, but maybe not.
I
Only
just hope he makes a good comeback in the IPL.
yeah, only times forward will tell you what's going to happen. But all in all, I think it's a fitting end to this journey. I think from being that scapegoat to a World Cup winner.
Yeah,
So
for sure, for sure.
yeah. Then I think if we actually go through our squad, I don't think there has been probably Washington Sundar. You can say
Hey,
he's
we
played.
didn't talk about Rinku. I think we didn't talk about Rinku. Rinku,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
So that's what I was trying to recall. Like if you go through the squad, everyone has made a significant contribution here or there, except maybe like I told Washington that the one game he got very limited chance. So in 2 overs also he did decent only. He considered only 17 runs. The fact that the problem that there was he wasn't used well. He was supposed to be your power play bowlers because you had the matchup. You played him for the matchup, but you didn't even use him in the matchup. Bumrah got rid of those 2 wickets, and then he was kind of like his matchup wasn't there in that game.
Underused.
Underused also with the bat. I think you can make a bit of complaint. Okay, what did you do there? But it's okay. One game, we shouldn't judge him too much. I think he's going to be a critical aspect for us going into the future, maybe in Australia. Um, where you would need those kind of bowlers to you who can extract bounce from the surface. So there probably he can come in handy, and also he's a decent bat when the ball comes onto the bat. We saw a good innings from him against Australia in the build up to the T20 World Cup. But that's that about Washington Sundar. Or if you would like to add any other points.
Yeah, I think against for Washington, all I'd like to say is I think whatever team he plays for, I think he should get a consistent run in a
Yeah.
specified role. That has been his problem. Either half the time he is not fit. If he is fit, he does not have a role. If he has a role, he does not perform well, so he does not get the entire run of 14 games. So, and with this impact player rule, I hate that rule. This is another issue that even someone like a Washington who can do both the tasks is used as an impact player or is not used at all. So this is something that I want to see from Washington, that at least in this season or the upcoming seasons, in the IPL, it gets all the 14 games with a specified role. Like,
Hmm.
okay, you bowl 2 to 3 overs, but you every game you bowled out 2 to 3 overs and you bat at number 5 or 6. That is your rule. You are going to perform it. That is something I'd like to see from him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think, as I said, if you go through this squad, I think it's very special. Everybody has played at least one game, and everybody has contributed in some way, shape, or form. We talked about the openers, Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson. We talked about Ishan Kishan. We talked about, of course, we didn't talk in depth about Surya. That's coming. Then we talked about Hardik, we talked about Shivam Dubey, we talked about Akshar Patel, Varun, Bumrah, Ashdeep, Siraj, Kuldeep, and Washington Sundar as well. And did we miss out anyone? No.
We missed out
Only
Rinku.
Rinku. Yeah, Ringo, we are going to talk about him now.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, I saw him in the final as well. It was towards the end that he came onto the field, towards our side of the boundary, and the game was done at that time. Like you could have left those boundaries. He didn't. He threw in those dives. He ran extremely hard. He didn't let them run, take twos. That's sheer commitment and willpower. I mean, I'm really sad for Rinku Singh. Of course, what he has gone through, it will be very wrong of us to imagine his pain and to, like, talk about his pain also. We can never understand the pain that he has had, because that is something you'll only understand if you go through that, right? So we should not even pretend about that. But as a cricket fan, I can tell you, Rinku is the one guy who should have been in the 2024 squad, at least, if not the 11. He deserved that gold medal, the winner's gold medal, right? I
For
don't
sure.
care who you drop from there.
I think we have made numerous videos on it.
Yeah, he should have been there. He should have been there. It is very sad he wasn't there. 2026, he's a world champion. It's very controversial, but he should have been in the 11. That, at least that's what I wished. But at least he gets that winner's medal, and I'm really really happy for him for that,
For sure.
at least.
I mean, we can means now that we know the complete thing means you never know. Maybe he could have fared really well in those games because again, someone like in the first 4 games at least, I think he played in the South Africa game all the games, right? Think.
Yeah.
And at the time he was getting good, like in the Pakistan game as well as the Netherlands game, he batted well. And again, in the South Africa game, it was all done and dusted when he came to bat. I think that game he should have taken his time, but we never know what was going through his head at that point of time because all the things that were happening to him in his life, personal life, we don't know what all trauma that he was going through. And he still stood up, fielded all the games, all the overs, uh, comes on as a substitute, backs his team with all the that effort on the field. Phenomenal. I mean, a phenomenal human being he is. So professional.
I really like the commitment that he has shown, uh, flying back to the Zimbabwe game, knowing he's not going to be in the 11. But given how much I have seen from Rinku Singh, like back in 2017 or 18, if I remember, he was playing for KKR. He used to just come in and field. And
2018 that was.
we used to watch
2018
those
they picked
games
him.
in our college, like in that common room, if you remember, you, me, and some other friends of ours. We used to see, wow, this guy, great fielder though, regardless of how he bats or whatever.
They did.
Great fielder.
They don't play him, but they just picked him to be a fielder that time.
Yeah,
Till
but he
2020
used
they
to,
didn't play him a lot.
yeah, but he used to show that commitment, and we really loved him for that. And that's what he's shown in this tournament as well. Flying back for the Zimbabwe game, knowing he's not in the 11, probably he would have thought to himself, "Okay, my country needs me probably on the field. Let me just go and field myself."
Yeah, for
Probably he
sure.
would have thought that way. And these are the kind of characters that, from within you get a feeling that you want this guy to succeed. Rinku Singh is one of those guys for me. Really happy KKR this season, they valued him for the performances that he delivered, for the player that he has been for them. And they put him on the top retention brackets. Very, very happy for him, and I hope this success continues for him. I really want to see him in the final, in the playing 11, and winning the final for India. I don't know which format he's going to do that, but with all my heart, I wish Rinku Singh gets it done someday. Otherwise, it would
Yeah,
be
for
very.
sure.
I will be sadder than Rinku Singh himself if he doesn't get to
Yeah, for
do
sure.
that.
For sure. I think that kind of talent he carries and the way he brings himself onto the field, I think all in all he deserves that.
Yeah.
He deserves to play. And unfortunately his form and all the things around didn't help him out this time. But good to see that winners medal around his neck.
Yep. 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 So that's that. And now let's come to the big one, Sky. I think he started off the tournament really great. We talked about the New Zealand series. We already predicted in the New Zealand series he's going to come good. He did come good. In the USA game, you can say it was an associate nation. Yeah, even I knew that we are not going to lose to USA of all teams. If we score 120, they're going to score 110. It was that Bangladesh. It was like that Bangladesh game for me, where we scored 105 all out. They scored 58. I knew from before that we are going to win, regardless of what happens. But having said all that, when you are six down, the game on paper at least is 50-50. And for him to actually stay through till the end and finish well as well really mattered, and it is a phenomenal knock. Yes, he failed after that in almost every game. Maybe some bits you can't criticize him much because that was the situation, and he was like, for example, the final. But having said all that, didn't perform with the bat, but we have to give him credit for his captaincy because it is very easy to lose control of the dressing room when you are going through that kind of a patch, right? You must have felt this even in your regular work, in your day-to-day work, when you are not performing as per you. See, as fans, we judge cricketers like every day in, day out, right? And if we are judging them based on certain standards, imagine the cricketers themselves would have set certain standards for themselves, right? And having definitely not achieved those, uh, definitely is going to play a part in your confidence on how you lead the side, and you could accidentally portray your negative energy to the team. But kudos to Sky, he didn't do any of that. On top of it, the way he has dealt the press conferences with a lot of humor, which of course many people didn't like, to each their own is what I would say to that. Not good, not bad for me. uh, but yeah, to maintain that atmosphere around the dressing room, and believe me, Gautam Gambhir is no easy person to work with. This is not coming from me because I have never worked with him, but this is the statement that you see from many people who have played with him or who have been in that same dressing room with him. So he's not the easiest person to work with, and we have also seen his avatar on social media. So to actually balance it out, you need a character like Surya Kumar Yadav, and he has done it really, really well on field. Also, tactically, generally you would give credit to the captain. I don't know in this case we should give credit to the captain or the coach. I would just say
100%.
both. I would just say
See,
both. Probably they did it together,
see,
but
whatever, it doesn't matter what the coach says in his pep talk or in the, the strategic timeouts and all. At the end of the day, it comes down to the captain, how he takes the calls,
yeah, to actually
right?
take the decision, it is the captain's call at the end of the
It is
day.
the captain. We never know what Gautam Gambhir said to him. All we know that what we saw, and that is coming out of Surya's mouth, right? So I think we have to give a lot of credit to Surya, the captain here. The batting part, I mean, see, I have mentioned it in some video before. The problem with Surya has been he is not the same batter after that wrist injury last year. Uh,
Yeah, 2020.
during that England series, if you remember, he got a string of low scores,
Yeah,
like two or three ducks and like single digit scores. Like in the entire series, I think he scored 50-20 runs only
yeah,
across that entire series. So because of that wrist injury, he's not the same player. If you see his shots, a lot of his shots are from the wrist flicks, the wrist cocking and everything. You remember that 100 against Gujarat Titans in 22 or 23 when Sachin from the stands stood up and applauded with one kind of a wrist flick that he played over third man for a six of Siraj, I think it was the bowler. Siraj, no, not Siraj. Who was it? I don't remember now. Some pacer was there, some Indian pacer was. And it was a wide Yorker, and he just slaps it over, flicks it over, a reverse flick over third man for a six. That was, I mean, outrageous. Even someone like a Sachin Tendulkar, he stands up and applauds Surya. So that's how good his wrists were. But now, if you see that power transmission is not there from his wrist. Even the last dismissal, if you see in the final, those balls he would put in the stands 20 rows back. But since that power is lacking at this point of time, maybe the recovery hasn't been there or whatever you can say, the power is not there. And if the power is not there, the shots are not going to carry. The same problem as Abhishek Sharma. So we have to cut some slack for Surya as well. See, the number still from his debut till 2024. Does any batter in T20Is comes close in that phase of time? I would say no.
yep.
He was striking close to 180 and averaging at
Average
45,
He was averaging 50 at
45
one point. I
twice.
remember one time I put a status also that we talk about Virat Kohli's consistency a lot because he averages 50. Here is one guy who averages like Virat Kohli and bats at a strike rate like Andre Russell. And that was Surya Kumar
Yeah,
Yadav. He's maverick.
Surya Kumar
He,
Yadav. Yeah,
you
correct.
should, I think Indian fans have a very short memory, including us also. But if you see over the course of last 5 6 years, if Surya Kumar Yadav is the personification of what we see in T20 cricket for India now, because
Correct.
he was the only guy when he came in who performed, who played in this tempo that we are playing in now, way before anybody else in the Indian side. So I think for
Yeah,
that alone, we should be respectful towards him.
for sure. And I think uh, there are phases with in everyone's career when you get that downtime. You can't always. You have to cut some slack for that individual. Also, he has the added captaincy responsibilities here.
Yep. Yep. And I think, like I said, the biggest win for me from Surya's side is the way he led the side. He never let the pressure of not scoring runs himself let onto the side. He did it for maybe over a year, and mainly he did it well in this particular tournament that and led India beautifully to achieve back-to-back T20 World Cup wins and create history. So that's that. Now I think it's time for us to talk about the management. I think I just want to say two things, actually three things this management did, which we were very critical of because that's how we viewed cricket. Uh, Again, in our defense, that's how cricket has always been, but this management changed it, and it actually worked. So first thing we already talked about Shivam Dube's inclusion. The second thing that I want to talk about is the management having a lot of ego, but not letting it determine the betterment of the side. And the third thing is flexible batting order. Shivam Dubey part we discussed. Let's go into the second part, which is the ego part. So it would have been very easy to take decisions based on ego. So let's start with Asia Cup. They brought in Shubman Gill. Everybody was against it. They played him. They played him the Australia series as well. This even the New Zealand, even the South Africa
South
series.
Africa series.
Uh, first three games he played, I think three games he played. Then the fourth one
Three
was
games.
cancelled due to fog. But they saw that okay, this guy isn't fitting into the 11. He is not working. Our plans are not working. Whatever we did over the last course of year and a half is not working. So let's bench him. They had the balls to do that, to acknowledge that they were wrong, and then take decision based on that. Similarly, bringing Sanju Samson in first part of that, then taking Sanju Samson out when he was not in form, bringing Ishan Kishan into the 11, making Ishan Kishan bat as an opener, making then bringing Sanju Samson back again when they saw okay teams are exploiting our top three lefty wala combination, and it is actually costing us. It could cost us in the big games also. We already lost to South Africa. Again, I understand that was a desperate move there, but still it takes a lot of courage to cancel out your own calls and say okay I was wrong the first time. Let me redo it. And the only goal at that point of time was for Team India to win the tournament. And they brought in Sanju, and whatever happened after that, right? So that takes a lot of guts, and for which I want to applaud the team management for doing that, right? That is the first thing. Second thing, flexible batting order. I think no bigger proponent we criticized Gambhir for as much as we did for the flexible batting order thing. We were always of the opinion that top three should be fixed. At least your opener should be fixed. Three and four could be flexible. The others can be like four to seven can be flexible depending on the situation. Or maybe someday, let's say 14 overs, you are at 170, 180, then Hardik Pandya comes in at number three, or Shivam Dube comes in at number three. That kind of things you can make, but you cannot change your batting order every game. We were right to an extent, but that actually helped us in this tournament. If you see that flexible batting order thing, Ishan Kishan batted at three, batted as an opener. He did well here. The bigger change here was for Tilak. He batted three, he was pushed to five, he was pushed batted seven in one game, batted four in one game. So somehow what we thought was a negative turned out to be a positive eventually, and it worked out. So we must appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I think that is something that we have to credit the management and the think tank as well. Because that Tilak part only I'd like to emphasize on, because remaining things I don't think there was much of a change. Sanju had to open, Sanju opened, Abhishek the opener. Ishan is a top three batter, so he batted three. Then Surya anyways batted at four in most of the games, apart from the last two, I believe. Then Hardik also, what you said, that was earlier also it used to happen that if you are at a position like 16, 15 overs, 180 for two or three, Hardik comes in ahead of what he was supposed to. Same with Shivam Dube. And only problem point was Rinku. Tilak Verma, because he was not firing at all, batting at the top three. So that they managed his entry points really well. And the best part of about it was he was used the same way as Shivam Dube. Means he has the same role as Shivam Dube if both of them are batting down the order. The best part is they separated these two brilliantly as well. Shivam Dube, the spin basher we know, his entry points were managed really well. Tilak Verma is a good proponent against pace bowling, and they use him really well. So that is really good from the team management.
Yep. I think for me, the biggest learning that I take from here is maybe I always used to think top three should be fixed in T20, top four in ODI cricket. I think ODI cricket still is the same, and it should stay the same way as well. Top four should be fixed. Here, I think apart from openers, everybody is flexible is a theory that I think I probably will be on board going forward, which is exactly the statement that Gautam Gambhir made. If you recall, I think it was Asia Cup or something. He made this statement once, I clearly
I
remember.
still don't. I still don't agree to it, but yeah, but anyways, we are having the top three as fixed anyways. So I still go for top three should be fixed, then the remaining you can change if you want. The
Hmm.
top three should not move at all because that is how the top three are basically your best batters,
But it did
your
move in this
best
World Cup.
batters.
It did move in this World Cup, and it worked. Either way, it worked. Yeah, Kishan, because Ishan Kishan was anyway part of the top three, you could say that okay, yeah, he
No, but
played.
these three are the top three batters only. What I'm saying is these three are your openers or the top three batters. Because Ishan played at three in all the games against New Zealand in
Yeah,
that
but my point was more around
series.
like going into the World Cup. Tilak was your top three, but Tilak had to play down the
Yeah,
order,
because
so
of
your
his
top
lack
three
of
changed.
form.
Right? Your top three did, actually changed, uh, and it did work anyway. So yeah, I think that's the one of the points that I wanted to make. And let's move on to the team of the tournament. Before that, one last thing, I just want to recall like top 15 moments of this World Cup. So first, we'll start with Pakistan and Netherlands game. I mean, Pakistan badly getting over the line against Netherlands. Then Nepal gave England a run for their money, almost beat them, lost by just 4 runs. Then that Afghanistan versus South Africa double super over game, where Gurbaz, even towards the end, had a lot of
I think
chance
there
to
there we have to give I
actually.
think there we have to give Rabada the credits. That guy, out of nowhere, you cannot concede 13 against someone like a Noor Ahmed, man. I mean, you are probably the best three bowlers of your generation, and on this kind of wicket, nine down, you are conceding 13 against the number 10. It's absolutely not expected from anyone, and be someone like a Rabada, not at all.
Yeah. Then we go to Sky's knock against USA. I mean, like I said, I didn't believe India is going to lose to USA, but purely if you talk about
You
cricketing
never
terms,
know.
card terms,
You
you never
never
know.
know.
It's a funny game. So that knock actually put us 2 points for us towards the start of the tournament. No scares there. Then Italy's historic win over Nepal. Then Zimbabwe's win over Australia. I mean, what a phenomenal game that was.
That
Then
was
Pathum
kind of,
Nisanka scoring that 100 and throwing Australia out of the tournament and just pushing them out of the World Cup right from the group stage.
I mean, you were very happy at that
Ha,
point
of
of time.
course,
I remember. You were
of
like, okay,
course.
half the task is done. I
Half
mean,
the task is done.
for me, honestly, Australia never had the team to make it so far in this, at least in this year's edition.
Bro,
But with
bro,
Australia, you never know.
yeah, I have learned my shit. Never ever underestimate Australia. They can win from any position. Even if they're 20 for 9, I will wait and pray for their 10th wicket to fall as soon as possible. You never know with that team. So that kind of scare they have given me throughout my childhood. Now, then we move on to Harry Brooks 100 versus Pakistan. I haven't obviously seen the game, but I've seen the scorecard, and I think that is a phenomenal knock because nobody
I
else
mean,
getting. Yeah.
if you ask me, it is probably the best knock of the tournament. I mean, okay, you can say it is against Pakistan, but if you see the context and the conditions at Palekele, usually at Palekele we get a very good belter of a wicket. But that day it was not, it was anything but a belter of a wicket. And you see the scorecard, nobody except Harry Brooks scored the margin of 30 runs. So
Mm.
that's how good his knock was. And he played the field really well, got the boundaries at the right time and scored 50 ball 100, which is like phenomenal. I mean, at 200 strike rate, you get 100, and against Pakistan, which has like seven spinners, it's quite a thing, I'd say.
Then that two top team clash between India and South Africa, where South Africa just absolutely rolled India over on that black soil wicket in Ahmedabad, proving that they are the team to beat in this tournament, not India. So that was one of the top moments. Of course, not for us, but we have to be neutral here. So then comes Will Jack's player of the tournament level performance. The lad won 4 man of the matches for England. I mean, unfortunately, probably he would have been the player of the tournament had England actually beaten India in that semi-final and played the final, who knows? Probably England would have won the World Cup as well. We never know. So that's that one. Then the epic Pakistan versus Sri Lanka match. I mean, I've included this because it was a very topsy-turvy contest on social media. At one moment, it felt like Pakistan is in. The other moment, it felt like New Zealand will be in because Sri Lanka is going to win the game. Then that wide controversy or something in the last ball. Eventually,
Yeah. I mean, that was a
Pakistan.
wide. I don't know how the umpire didn't call it a wide. I mean,
Yeah,
horrible from the umpire there. It
yeah.
should have been a wide. It was a
I
clear
didn't watch
wide.
the match, but I had a
But
lot of fun on
Shanaka,
social media.
if Shanaka finished that match, I think it would have been curtails on Shine Afridi's international career there, right then and there. Because 26, I think they required of the last over, hit him for three sixes and a boundary. 22 was scored. One more six was required of the last ball, and he missed that. He led that for a wide, but the umpire didn't give it a wide.
I can
And
imagine
phenomenal hitting.
I can imagine the scenario how it would have looked like. I remember when RCB versus CSK game where it was 26 or 28 required on the
MS
last.
versus Umesh.
Yeah,
26. 26. My goodness. Umesh Yadav, the legend.
so
Horrible
probably
bowling.
probably it would have been that kind of day there in Pakistan versus Sri Lanka game. I assume,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, that's that. Then we move on to the virtual quarterfinal. That was India versus West Indies. Sanju's comeback in Eden. That run chase, phenomenal run chase. There was the stat that India hadn't chased 160 plus in a World Cup without Virat Kohli, and we chased it three times. Both all three times Virat Kohli was the highest scorer, and also the man of the
And the
match
man
again
of the
that time.
match. Man of the match as well.
So to eclipse that, we know Virat Kohli is a goat in T20I cricket, and to actually overtake Virat Kohli and score that knock in Eden under that much pressure was absolutely phenomenal. Then the Finn Allen 100 against South Africa. I mean, literally played one knock and just rolled South Africa out of the tournament.
No,
They
I think
they
Finn
were
Allen was
absolute.
good before that
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I'm not saying that way. What I'm saying is he played one knock out of his skin. 33 ball 100 is. I mean, you don't get that every day. It was a freakish knock.
Yeah.
So that
I mean,
actually threw South Africa.
I have followed Finn Allen since 2022, and I think he's one player. I mean, I said in it in some previous episode as well that he is one player alongside Abhishek Sharma and Phil Salt who can just blast his way into the innings. Any
Basically,
beat any opposition, any ground. They are
they
just
are
that kind of
50,
batters.
they are 50 ball 130 kind of batters.
Yeah, these three are those kind of batters. So
Yeah.
and he comes to the party in the best possible game, you can say.
Actually, did a good job for us, I must say, because I would have been not scared, but I would have been very cautious if South Africa were there in the final against India, because that could have gone either way. We have to be very honest. We should say South Africa was the team of the tournament until that semi final. I mean,
Yeah, for
there's
sure.
no questions over that. Then comes the semi final for India. Akshar Patel's catches, phenomenal catches, and the Bumrah magic in Wankhede that helps India cross to the final. Then comes the final itself. And we were, so Dragon Ball Z fans out there would get this. We were in Super Saiyan mode. We just blasted New Zealand out of the game, out of the tournament. And like there was no comeback for them, no comeback. So the
For sure,
moment
for sure.
Finn Allen was out, it was done and dusted for them. So those are
Anyways, I
the
don't think 255 would have been chased down. I mean, how do you chase down 255? No matter
maybe
how good the
maybe they
wickets are.
ended up on, who knows, man, who knows. So
Yeah. But against a team like us, it's extremely difficult. With Bumrah, I mean, you have to score like 220 of the remaining 16 overs. It's kind of
exactly,
impractical there.
exactly,
Extremely impractical.
exactly. So that's that. Those were the top 15 moments from this World Cup. I think we had a brilliant ICC tournament this time around. I know we get that every year. So This one particularly stood out for me because of the sheer amount of movements and the performances of some underdog teams, and India, of course, playing like champions despite the one blip in their campaign. And overall, it was a fantastic tournament to be part of as a viewer. And thankfully, God granted me that opportunity to be in the final itself and enjoy the fireworks, especially after the debacle that was 2023. I think 2026 World Cup is everything that 2023 promised and more. I'm really happy to be a part of that spectacle. But yeah, let's move on to the team of the tournament. And I think we will have very little debate over here because I think it's given almost. So let's start. Who are your openers? You go one, I'll go
Uh,
one.
so my first opener will be my captain of the team as well, Aiden Markram.
Okay. That
Aiden
makes it
Markram,
easy
my
for me.
opener as well as captain.
That makes it really easy for me, and I think you would also have the same opener. Second one, it's
Sanju Samson, my
Five
keeper.
Sada Farhan.
No, no,
I
it's
got you there. No, Sanju Samson,
no,
of course. I was
no
kidding.
way, no way, Farhan.
I
Sanju
was
Samson,
kidding.
the man of the tournament, and my keeper will be Sanju as well.
See, I get it. People who would like to include Saibzada Farhan because of the sheer volume of runs, but I have to be very honest. He did not perform against any good sides. Against India, I think he scored a duck, and I think apart from India, he played against who? England. I don't think he scored that many.
England, England, he scored 50 runs, but there were very slow runs,
New
like
Zealand game was
60 of
anyway rained
40,
out.
45, 60 of 45 kind of a knock.
Okay. New Zealand game anyway, it was rained out, and the 100 against Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka's bowling wasn't that great, I don't rate it that highly.
Not
And again,
even
the other.
even
Mhm.
even if you don't rate the bowling, the context of the games for from the other end, Fakar Zaman was going at 200s, and here this guy was batting nearly at 160, and that
Yeah,
towards the end he caught up. So that is
yeah,
something, the strike rate that was an issue with him.
yeah, exactly. And again, you have to see who we are picking over Farhan. I mean, this is nothing against him. He did really play well. If you see his numbers, at least not against good teams. That's why I'm not having him. I'm having again Aiden Magram is a choice that I will agree with, given that I need a captain as well. And the other is Sanju Samson, and there has to be absolutely no debate about this for anyone. Then comes the number three.
Yeah,
My number three is Ishan Kishan. Who do you have?
yeah. I had a choice. I mean, I wanted to have a choice between Hetmeyer and Ishan Kishan here. Both of them were, I think, the captains of the 2016 final, under 19 final, both of them. But here, I think I'll go with Ishan Kishan as well, given the impetus that he has shown throughout the tournament and the knocks that he played. I mean, 77 against Pakistan, 64 of 21 of against Namibia, then quick fire 38s against Zimbabwe as well as England, and a brilliant 50 in the final as well of 22
Then
balls. So
I think
I think I am
27 of
going with
12
Ishan Kishan.
against 27 of 12 against England in the semi-final as well.
Yeah, I think 38 of 16 it was
39 of
Ishan
16.
Kishan.
Okay. 27
Yeah,
of 12.
Hardik
Again,
Pandya. It was Hardik Pandya.
Hardik
It was
Pandya. Okay,
Hardik
okay.
Pandya. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyway,
that is
anyway,
what I'm saying.
I think he
Yeah.
provided
So
impetus in all of the games. Even against West Indies, he scored a low score, 10 of 5 still it was.
but
So
he never
considering
let the
his strike,
momentum die.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And purely for that reason, I would like to have Ishan Kishan as my number three.
Yeah. So these are my.
Hetmeyer,
This is my top three.
who's your number four? I'm curious. I think here we could also probably have a bit of debate. Maybe Hetmeyer you can bat at number four, or
I mean, I really wanted to have a Glenn Phillips here because he's like one of my favorite cricketers going around in the globe. Then I also wanted to have a good shout for someone like a Dewald Brevis coming up in the ranks. But I will go with Harry Brook here because of that 100 against Pakistan and some other knocks as well that he played in the tournament. I think he scored 235 runs in 6 or 7 innings at the strike rate of 160. And
hmm,
most of this game, they played 3 games in Sri Lanka that we have to keep in mind,
yeah.
and that is something that I'd like to. I'll go with him.
Okay, I think that's a fair shout. I think we should go with Harry Brook then. So Markram, Samson, Ishan, and Harry Brook. Those are our top four. Number five.
Who was
Number
your
five.
number four?
Here. Sorry.
Who was your number four
My number four again.
initially?
It was a debate between like Hetmeyer and Harry Brook. I mean, I wanted to include Hetmeyer also, but again, I'm happy to include Harry Brook as well because although I haven't seen the match, I've seen the scorecard and that was pretty impressive. I've seen one innings from Ben Stokes against Mumbai Indians. They were chasing 167. Stokes got 100. That was back when he was playing
That
for
Pune
Pune.
Pune game.
Pune
Pune,
game.
yeah,
He
RPS.
wasn't very much
Similar
cricket.
kind of innings.
I
Very similar
kind of
kind of an
related
inning.
to it. So and I've seen that innings that was magical from Ben Stokes against quality bowling of Mumbai Indians. Although here probably the bowling quality wasn't that great, but situation wise, I think we must give Harry Brook the advantage. Again, with Hedmeyer, the problem is he hasn't performed against top teams. He obviously
Or
hasn't.
or 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 we can go with the Jacob Bethel here. He's
Yeah,
another guy
that is
that
also. Yeah,
we
yeah. I
who
think
can who we can give a shout, I guess.
yeah, I think crucial semi-final against India. Although his side ended up on the losing
Just
side,
just give me 1 second. Let me check the numbers for Bethel here. What are his numbers?
but I think you also have to give an edge to Harry Brook for his captaincy as well because uh, the Sri Lanka leg for them in the Super 8 wasn't going to be easy because spinners, slow wickets. Generally, England doesn't play spin well, and all that kind of stuff was there. So he actually led
Yeah,
them well.
uh, but still, I mean, Jacob Bethel also scored a lot of runs at number four. Even the 100 came at number four.
Hmm.
So I think we have to make a change here. Jacob Bethel, yeah, Jacob Bethel. We can make a change. Jacob Bethel scored 280 runs at 153.
Hmm.
So yeah, anything you can do a toss up against Harry Brook or Jacob Bethel. So whoever
Probably
you
we
want,
can
you
do one
can.
thing. We'll just check if our team demands a left-hander, then we can have a Jacob Bethel, or if we require a right-hander, we can have a Harry Brook. Anyway, because again, if we are having Aiden
Also,
Markram as a
Bethel will also give a extra bowling option here
yeah,
as a
yeah,
left hand
okay.
spin.
Yeah. Also, given that Markram, we have picked him as our captain, probably
Jacob
Harry
Bethel
Brook.
makes a fair point.
Fair shout. Okay, we'll get to this,
Yeah.
but let's talk about the next three positions: five, six, and seven. Five, six, seven, eight. Actually, let's do all four together. Uh, like Team India, we also want to keep this flexible. So,
Mhm.
so the four players that I have in mind, I actually have six. One is Will Jacks, then I have Jason Holder. I have Mitch Santner. These are three overseas guys that I have. Sorry, talking in IPL terms already. So these are three non-Indian guys that I have. Then the three Indian people that I have are the three premier all-rounders that we have: Shivam Dube, Hardik Pandya, and Akshar Patel. Ideally, I would like to put all three of them, but it's a very tough call. I think Jax is somebody that we both will put it anyway.
He is an automatic selection here. Will
Yeah.
Jacks.
So one slot is gone
Will
for
Jacks
Jax.
is an auto. The
The
next will be Shivam Dube for me.
Dube over
Shivam
Hardik.
Dube for me. 100%. In this tournament, 100%.
Mhm.
Because see, the kind of batting he has shown, phenomenal. I mean, I already mentioned previously that he has outbatted Hardik Pandya.
Yeah.
That's the biggest compliment that I can give him.
Yeah. I think as much as I love Hardik Pandya, and Hardik has done decently with the ball as well in this tournament, but I think we have to also see who has done well in those clutch situations for us. I think Shivam Dube has probably never failed in this World Cup. Whenever the situation was presented to him, he did he did make the best out of that situation. So I think I will have Shivam Dube as well over Hardik Pandya in this 11. So that closes out two slots. Then we have Holder, Akshar Patel, and Santner. I wouldn't want to have two left arm spinners, so probably we can do a toss up between Akshar Patel and Santner, unless you have somebody else in your mind.
No, so Holder is an automatic pick for me as well at number seven. I think he batted excellently against us, against South Africa, and I think he also scored some runs against England. as well. Also got some crucial wickets. He got rid of Phil Salt, I remember. Phil Salt was going all guns blazing against West Indies in their trenches at 1KD. So I think Holder got 10 wickets in the tournament. So Holder is an automatic pick for me at number
Yeah,
7. Then I am going with Akshar Patel, given the number of wickets he has picked.
yeah.
Akshar got 11 wickets at 8.2. Santner, on the other half, has an excellent economy rate of 6.6, which is probably the best uh, of any of the players who have played past the Super 8. But he has only got 2 wickets to show for this. So in
Hmm.
that aspect, I think although batting wise, I think Santner had contributed a lot more, but Akshar didn't get that many chances, or it was not required much for of him to bat. So I am going with Akshar Patel here.
Yeah, even I will go with Akshar Patel. For me, there's no doubt
Because
because
11 wickets are a lot compared to 2. In simple comparison.
that
And at
and
number
he has
8,
bowled. I think Akshar Patel has bowled in far more batting friendly conditions than Santner.
that is also another point that we have to mention.
So that is a fair game. Of course, he didn't get to bat, which none of us can do anything about it. Santner did great there, but given the magnitude of the performances in crunch situations and the two catches in the semi-final, brilliant catches, generational catches, those two.
I think
So
3 catches he took. Phil Salt he took, Harry Brook he took, Will Jacks he took. 3 catches he got. Also, he
uh,
got rid of that guy, Tom Benton. He bowled him.
so all in all, I think I would like to pick up Shar Patel, and even in the final, he got the wicket of Finn Allen, which was actually the
Yeah,
game. So
instrumental to
yeah,
start the proceedings.
it was the game. I mean, if New Zealand had maybe a 1% chance to chase that total, it was Finn Allen. Finn Allen had to score a 30 ball 70 minimum to get them started on chasing that total, which didn't happen, right? So I think Akshar Patel makes much more sense here. Then let's pick two bowlers, and you love wrist spin, so I know you want to have at least one wrist spinner in the team. Let's talk about the pace bowlers first, or let's say wrist spin part. Let's do it first. Only two bowlers come to my mind who actually did something. One is Varun, but Varun didn't had good Super 8 or semi-final or final. Then the other option is Adil Rashid. Who would
I
you
think
pick?
Adil Rashid picks himself. Adil Rashid just picks himself into this 11. I think he bowled really well. And even coming into the semi-final, if you see his bowling numbers, in the first 2 overs he only went for 13. It was only after the arrival of Shivam Dubey that his numbers took a hit.
Hmm.
Even Sanju Samson in that kind of form was not able to get uh, overs Adil Rashid. First over only went for six, second over only went for 7 runs. He was bowling really well. If not for Shivam Dubey's entry point, I think the match figures would have been a little different for Adil Rashid. And he was brilliant in the Sri Lanka leg as well, and got I think 9 or 10 wickets also. Adil Rashid, let me check once. I think 9 or 10 wickets he also got.
I think
So
that's a
I'm going
fair
for
shot.
Adil Rashid.
I think that's a fair
Adil
shot.
Rashid got
And
13 wickets. My good, my goodness, 13 wickets he got at an economy of 8.15. I think he did a great job.
okay, so I
And
think that's a fair shot. So I mean, I want to pick Varun, but maybe if he had given me one game out of
one
West
good
Indies,
game at least.
one good game out of West Indies, England, and New
South
Zealand.
Africa or New Zealand. All
Yeah,
the four were event he got tonked.
yeah. So probably won't be fair to include him. So let's include Adil Rashid. So that leaves two spots, and I have three shouts for those two spots. One is an automatic selection, no discussion. That is Jasprit Bumrah, only one game changer. The last spot, I see two pace bowlers who have done well here. One is Lungi Ngidi, phenomenal throughout the World Cup. I think after Bumrah, he is the second best in this tournament. Doesn't matter. I don't care what the numbers say, but second best for me. He has bowled in all situations. He has bowled phenomenally well. And the other guy that I have is purely number based. It is Shalquick from USA.
USA.
He had two
See,
good teams to play against. That was India and Pakistan. He got a 4-4
he
against
got
both of them. So
That
That is why I've
yeah,
considered
fair
him.
shout for him. Fair
Uh,
shout for him, but I think Lungi and Gidi was far more influential for South Africa. I think with Rabada not going hot and cold like Arshdeep, what we see, then Marco Jansen also hasn't had the greatest of tournaments with the ball. Lungi and Gidi, I think, was instrumental for them, South Africa. I think he bowled the tough overs. He got a wicket every time Markram handed him the ball. And that slower ball, I think nobody had an answer for him. That
yeah.
slower ball. So I think Lungi and Gidi.
Yep. I think that's a valid conclusion. I think that we have for this. The team of the tournament finally for us is Aiden Markram, our captain and our first opener. Second is Sanju Samson. Then third is Ishan Kishan. Number four, we have kept it as a toss up between Hattie Brook or Jacob Bethel. Go with either, depending on what you want in your side, a lefty or a righty.
Let's go with
Probably,
Jacob Bethel. Let's go
probably
with
in our
Jacob
side,
Bethel.
the side that we have, we would want a lefty because we have too many right-handers. So go with Jacob Bethel. Then comes Will Jacks. Then we have Shivam Dubey. Then we have Jason Holder. Then we have Akshar Patel. Then we have Adil Rashid, Lungi Angedi, and to close it all off, Jassi Jasprit Bumrah.
The
So
GOAT.
that's the team of the tournament from our side. And Pratik, anything else you would like to add to close this video?
I think we are done. I think we have covered every possible aspect. A lot of stories. And yeah, all in all, happy memories.
Yeah, I think that's a good wrap to this episode and a good wrap to what has been an incredible World T20 2026. We are not going to stop here. We'll go with the IPL previews for the teams next. Probably in the upcoming week or two, you're gonna see them. And after that, for the next 1 month or so, it's going to be IPL fever, and then we go back to planning for the 2027 World Cup. I think Gautam Gambhir also said the same statement somewhere. I read it on Instagram, and I mean, Mission 2027 looks very difficult at this point, Pratik. I mean, if you look at the last ODI series that we played, my God, I think we have a lot to discuss over there. So I'm really looking forward to building up towards the 2027 World Cup. And of course, we also must tell our viewers that we are three ICC tournaments in, as in this channel. First is the World T20, is the Champions Trophy 2025, then the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup, and the third is the Men's T20 World Cup 2026. India has won all three. So hope this streak of luck continues for us, and we'll see you in the next video. Up until then.